as some of you may have heard about, my television show, which is the love of my life, has been through.
Thanks a lot.
Has had the second love of my life has been through a lot of changes. I wrote an essay about basically it started as a show that was produced for NBC. NBC passed on it, got picked up by Fox, and we lived there for 3 years. And then we were canceled by Fox, and then Hulu picked us up for 26 episodes. Thank you very much. And then now we're picked up for Hulu for more episodes than we've ever done in a single year. So I know, and I'm so excited. But it's like being in a really rocky relationship. Like my show is like, it's like having, the show is, it's like, the show has had all these different boyfriends, and there keep being these like spectacular breakups and then reversals and then new suitors coming out of the woodwork. So it's kind of been more dramatic than any love life. It's been this show, which is about romance and dating.
And have you learned lessons from that roller coaster, or are you the same person you were?
I've learned no lessons. No, I have, which is the name of my next book. Yeah, I mean, I like to think of myself as a person where, like, you think it's like, okay, everything is very calm. And when I was a kid and I thought, wow, it would be amazing if I had my own TV show and my name would be in it, and then I would never complain again and be so happy. And then just to see how rocky that is. And it's not just me. There's 150 people who work on my show, or my crew and my cast and my writing staff and everything. And I want to be able to give them employment. And so when we go through this, we kind of go through this together. And so, it's always rocky. It's never sort of been smooth sailing, which is surprising to me.
Now that the show's on Hulu, does that mean we can get some more risque shots of Messina?
It's funny. I was talking to Matt Warburton, who runs the show, who show runs the Mindy Project with me. And there's when you find out you're on a platform like Hulu, which is much more liberal, both with what you're allowed to do and the length of time the show can be on. You have this feeling when you've been on network television, and I've been writing on network television for 11 or 12 years, of being like, ooh, like what can we do now? It can just be like all like sex and drugs and like all this stuff you want to do, because Matt and I are both like, smart writers, but also like repressed people. And sort of what we decided was, we definitely want people who tune into the show on Hulu to be tuning in for 2 reasons. One, because there's like lots of cool new stuff that we're doing that we can't do on network TV, but also not to give up the thing that you like love about the show. And I think that so much of romance comes from restraint. And I think that it's the stuff that you kind of you don't necessarily see, which is what makes it romantic. And I remember on The Office, one of the most romantic things that happened in the first season is a moment that B.J. wrote in this episode called Diversity Day, which is at the end of this incredibly funny episode, there's a moment when Jim, who's having the worst day of his whole career basically, Pam falls asleep on his shoulder. And he remembers that as being, and you can see just in his expression how romantic and how amazing it was. And that was a woman falling asleep on a grown man's shoulder. So to me, I remember that so much more than like any sexy sex scene you could see on any TV show. So I always have to remind myself of that a little goes a long way. Because I'm, of course, from the school of like more is more, and a lot goes a long way. And as you can tell from the show. But I think we are going to push the envelope in ways that we haven't been able to, which is great.